It's been 25 years since Reservoir Dogs was released, and the most memorable part might be Mr. Blonde, who's a great example of one of the most effective character types a movie can have, a lunatic. They've won Oscars, made box office, and earned actors fans for a long time. But this doesn't always work. So what makes a great, crazy character in a movie? Well, first, we know that movies work best when they make sense. But a lot of types of insanity cause people to not make sense. So the types that work best are ones where there's a method to the madness. The person's actions make sense in their world.
If they hadn't done what I told them not to do, they'd still be alive.
So with a great lunatic, a writer has to decide why they're crazy beforehand. Whether they're delusional, hear voices, have multiple personalities, are sociopaths, or whatever else. And it's kept consistent. When it's not, the audience can never buy into what they see. On top of that, we tend not to recognize our own craziness. You'll almost never hear a good crazy character say that they are. Instead, the audience will learn that they're crazy by hearing what other characters say.
You can't leave these guys there with him. Why not? Because he's a psycho.
And of course, the characters will show it too. But with that, it's important to note that most people look normal most of the time. A person's craziness only comes out in certain situations, usually extreme ones.
I don't like alarms, Mr. White.
And showing it less often makes it more effective. A peak emotional level gets tiring in a few minutes. You have to keep people interested beyond that. So, by having characters talk about it and showing only a bit of it, it engages us. We wonder, what are they capable of doing?
I'm not going to be ignored, Dan.
How far will they go? And this feeling is good and can last for hours. Along the same lines, a person with their own view of the world can be very likable, especially if the movie makes you see things their way.
Look at that subtle off-white coloring. Oh my god. It even has a watermark.
Or if they're so detached from reality that it actually makes them seem cool and confident. But there's one more thing. A crazy character can be a hero to the audience if they do things that we wish we could do. For example, I like the Grand Theft Auto games because you can beat people up for cutting you off in traffic, unlike real life. A crazy character in movies can live out these fantasies for us and actually make us root for them.
It's amusing to me to torture a cop.
But one of the keys to that is that the consequences of those actions are hidden. You see, we know Mr. Blonde shot up the store because the cashier didn't listen to him. But we don't see the actual people he killed. And we know he spent years in prison, but we didn't have to be there with him. We only see the fun part, the satisfying part, and not the downside. So with that said, you might notice that while there are lots of types of mental illness, almost every famous crazy character is only one type, a sociopath. Someone who seems normal, but doesn't recognize what other people feel or want, and who flirts with a darker side that all of us have. And I think that's one reason why these characters can win so many awards. They give us a unique reaction, because they do things that no normal person would, and they can make us like them and hate them at the same time. And the tension and interest they can create by themselves in a story makes them stand out, and when they're done well, be crazy effective. Subscribe, click that bell, and thanks.